President Bola Tinubu postpones rollout of new tax law, including a 5% fuel surcharge to January 2026 to ease pressure on Nigerians already battling high living costs. President Bola Tinubu reaffirms his commitment to overhauling health sector, declaring that no Nigerian should die out of power failures in hospitals. Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers suspends strike after reaching agreement with Dangote Refinery to allow workers unionize. The two-day action disrupted fuel supply nationwide before Tuesday's deal brought relief. And abroad, Nepal's army patrols the streets of Kathmandu after the country's worst unrest in decades. Protests against corruption and nepotism spiraled into violence, forcing the Prime Minister to resign. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the Delta Television Main News. Joy Uche is my name. You can follow us on our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website www.dbsasaba.com. The federal government has postponed the rollout of a new tax law to January 1, 2026. The law, which included a 5% fuel surcharge, was meant to boost government revenue, but sparked concerns about worsening living costs. Finance Minister Mr. Wale Edun announced the decision after consultations with stakeholders, saying the delay reflected the Tinubu administration's sensitivity to hardship Nigerians face under ongoing economic reforms. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's resolve to overhaul Nigeria's health sector with special focus on solving the power crisis affecting hospitals. Speaking at the National Stakeholders Dialogue on Power in the Health Sector in Abuja, the President, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, said no Nigerian should lose their life because of electricity failure in medical facilities. He noted that sustainable energy solutions for hospitals remained a key priority of the Renewed Hope agenda, stressing the importance of renewable and hybrid systems for decentralized energy supply. President Tinubu disclosed that 100 billion naira had been approved last month for National Public Sector Solarization Initiative to provide reliable energy for hospitals and other public institutions nationwide. The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has suspended its nationwide strike after signing a memorandum of understanding with Dangote Group in Abuja. The deal was signed by the Managing Director of the Dangote Group, Mr. Seyiu Dantuta, alongside representatives of the Labour Ministry, NLC, TUC, and NUPENG leaders. NUPENG President Comrade Williams Akboriher and General Secretary Mr. Folabi Olawale described the outcome as a victory, as the Association of Distributors and Transporters of Petroleum Products accused the union of extortion. By the agreement, the Dangote Group accepted the unionization of its willing employees, with the process expected to begin immediately and be completed within 2 weeks. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the reforms of President Bola Tinubu show the power of political will in shaping economic policy. Speaking at the Nigerian Economic Society conference in Abuja, he acknowledged the hardship but insisted the measures are needed to rebuild the economy. The Vice President urged African nations to embrace the knowledge economy, while the budget minister, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, said the society will play a role in the Renewed Hope development program. Also, the Minister of Livestock Development, Mr. Idi Maiha, described livestock as Nigeria's next crude oil as the society pledged support for economic transformation. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has called for stronger measures to protect schools across the country. Speaking in Abuja, the 2025 International Day to Protect Education from Attack, she said, education is key to securing the nation's future. Mrs. Tinubu, a former teacher, urged security agencies to intensify efforts while presenting scholarships worth 47 million naira and laptops to students under the Renewed Hope initiative. 47 beneficiaries from various disciplines each received 1 million naira and a laptop to support their studies. Nigeria's national electricity grid has collapsed again on Wednesday. The independent system operator confirmed that power generation dropped from over 2,900 megawatts to just 1.5 megawatts within an hour. The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company attributed the widespread outage across its franchise area to the grid failure, which occurred at 11:23 a.m. The National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, has banned all unlicensed boat drivers and operators from the nation's waterways. The managing director of NIWA, Mr. Bola Oyebamiji, said in Abuja that no commercial boat will be allowed to load from unauthorized points, while the use of life jackets will be strictly enforced. He explains that unlicensed boats would be removed as the agency would work with states and riverine areas to promote safety campaigns and training for operators. Mr. Oyebamiji also called for a Coast Guard to enforce safety rules as NIWA partners with the Marine Police and Navy to curb night sailing, overloading, and other unsafe practices. The Chartered Institute of Information Management Strategy, CIISM, has endorsed the 6th edition of the Delta State Strategic Communication Workshop, DELCOM 2025. A statement by the Registrar and Governing Council Secretary of CIISM, Dr. Adelanke Oyentoke, says all DELCOM 2025 participants, including those who attended previous editions, will be inducted into the CIISM Professional Hall of Fame. The statement added that the decision followed a review of DELCOM models and the professional backgrounds of past and present trainers, including renowned professors of mass communication, journalism, public relations, and advertising. It noted that the Institute commended Governor Sheriff Oboriwori for his human capital development policy and also recognized DELCOM convener and state coordinator Dr. Fred Oganesere for sustaining the successes of the workshop over the past 6 years. The statement also noted that a renowned artificial intelligence specialist and fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Mande Ashibogo, will take participants through AI-driven content creation, digital tools for leadership, and AI-powered insights for effective decision-making. It also said that Dr. Ganesare assured that the participants will benefit from interactive sessions, group work, and practical exercises aimed at building capacity in corporate communication and public information management. The statement noted that DELCOM 2025 was aimed at strengthening communication, governance, and leadership through professional training in the states. The Chartered Institute of Information Management Strategy, CIISM, has endorsed the 6th edition of the Delta State Strategic Communication Workshop, DELCOM 2025. A statement by the Registrar and Governing Council Secretary of CIISM, Dr. Delanke Oyintoki, says all DELCOM 2025 participants, including those who attended previous editions, will be inducted into the CIISM Professional Hall of Fame. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed readiness to partner with the National Bureau of Statistics and the Civil Defense Corps on data management. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu said this in Abuja when he received the Statistician General of the Federation, Mr. Adeyemi Adeniran. Professor Yakubu noted that INEC holds the largest database of adult citizens, which can serve planning beyond elections, and called for better facilities in polling centers nationwide. Mr. Adeniran commended INEC's transparency and pledged to make electoral data more accessible, especially at the grassroots. The Adamawa state government has confirmed 8 deaths from a flesh-eating disease suspected to be Buruli ulcer in Malabo community, Fufuri local government area. Commissioner for Health, Mr. Felix Tangwami, said samples from patients have been sent to the National Reference Laboratory for confirmation. He added that survivors were receiving care at the Modibo Adama University Teaching Hospital in Yola, with emergency response teams deployed to the affected community. Mr. Tangwami urged residents to maintain good hygiene and report unusual skin ulcers or swellings to health authorities. Still to come, Nepal's army patrols the streets of Kathmandu after the country's worst unrest in decades. Protests against corruption and nepotism spiraled into violence, forcing the Prime Minister to resign. Details of this and more shortly. Stay with us.
If tanker wey carry fuel fall or pipe wey carry fuel for underground burst, wetin you go do? You go begin bail fuel put for your bucket, or you go run comot far for where the fire go soon come. Na only small time you get to take this wise decision. Waka comot, no, that one no dey enough. Shift, no, that one no dey enough. Stay there dey gist and take pictures with your phone. That na madness. Run, yes, run comot. Yes, your life depend on wetin you do. The fire go come at once and you no go fit control am. Why? Petrol dey catch fire easily. Why? Na just small spark go start big fire. So no stay there dey think. Run comot quick to save your life. No throway your life away because of say you wan pack petrol. Take this advice. This informate na from Public Enlightenment Office, Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba.
Thank you for staying on. You are watching the Delta Television main news. Up next is the global scene as we join our world news desk.
Nepal's army is patrolling the streets of Kathmandu following the country's worst unrest in decades. Fierce protests against corruption and nepotism spiraled into violence, forcing the Prime Minister to resign yesterday. Government buildings and lawmakers' homes were set ablaze, while protesters also stormed and touched Parliament. The youth groups behind the demonstrations have condemned the violence, blaming infiltrations for hijacking their movement. The capital appeared calmer today, though smoke still rose from burning buildings and vehicles littered the streets, according to reports. Meanwhile, the European Commission has said it will propose sanctions on extremist Israeli ministers and suspend some trade measures under the EU-Israel agreement. Commission President Ms. Ursula von der Leyen made the announcement while addressing the European Parliament in Strasbourg. She acknowledged divisions within Europe over the Gaza conflict, but said the proposals were also meant to send a political signal. The measures would need broad support from member states, something analysts said may be difficult to achieve. In another development, the United States of America President Donald Trump has urged the European Union to impose tariffs of about 100% on China and India. President Trump said the move would pressure Russia's President Vladimir Putin to end the war in Ukraine. Report says President Trump made the demand during talks with EU officials on the new economic measures against Moscow. He revealed plans to hold direct talks with President Putin later this week or early next week in a bid to broker peace as Russian strikes on Ukraine intensify. Also, Poland has reiterated that the 19 Russian drones violated its airspace overnight during strikes on western Ukraine. Prime Minister Donald Tusk confirmed that about 4 drones were shot down by Polish and NATO aircrafts, the first of such interceptions over Polish territory. The incident triggered a major military response, though airports have since reopened. A Russian diplomat in Warsaw dismissed the reports as baseless. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that about 8 drones were deliberately directed towards Poland, calling it an extremely dangerous precedent for Europe.
Let's join our business news desk for more happenings in the business sector.
President Bola Tinubu has directed regulators to intensify surveillance of stable coins and digital currency in the country. Speaking through the finance minister, Mr. Wale Edun, at the Chartered Institute of Bankers Conference in Abuja, the president said the rise of digital payment must be carefully managed. He noted that Nigeria ranked second globally and first in Africa in cryptocurrency adoption, with the SEC already enforcing Investment and Security Act 2025 on digital assets. President Tinubu stressed that digital tools, artificial intelligence, and open banking were vital for driving industrialization, efficiency, and job creation. Meanwhile, some rice farmers have blamed the continuous hike in price on activities of cartel and middlemen. Vice Chairman of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Sakin Agbeyewa, alleged that warehousing and artificial scarcity were responsible for the fluctuation despite government's intervention. The Lagos State Chairman of the Rice Farmers Association, Mr. Raphael Hunsa, urged the government to work directly with genuine farmers to stabilize price.
All right, up next is sports, and we have Henry Osiayo standing by.
Good evening, and here's the sports news. I am Henry Usiayu. Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell insists Nigeria is still in the race for a spot at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, despite a setback against South Africa. The Eagles were held to a 1-1 draw by Bafana yesterday night at the Toyota Stadium in Bloemfontein. The result leaves Nigeria in third place in Group C with 11 points from 8 matches, 6 points adrift of leader South Africa. Speaking after the game, Coach Chell said his players remain determined. The Super Eagles will travel to Lesotho when the qualifiers resume next month before hosting the Squirrels of Benin Republic in their final group game.
Skill, maybe the last pass, and maybe the best choice. So a draw is a good result. The reality is this make a draw in South Africa against this great team. It's a good result, but for us we wanted to win, so we are a little disappointed. But this is the football.
Thank you, coach. Aruna Quadri made a powerful start to his WTTF Champions Macau 2025 campaign with a straight games victory over China's Huang Zhujiang in the men's single round of 32 yesterday. The world number 26, who has endured a difficult run of form in recent months, was in commanding mood at the Macau East Asia Games Dome as he brushed aside a white card entry 11-3, 11-8, 11-8. Aruna won 33 points overall compared to Huang's 19, converting 19 on his own serve and 14 on his opponents. The 36 years old dominance was underlined by an 8-point lead at his widest margin and a run of 7 consecutive points, while Huang's best rally stretched to just 2. The Nigeria now advances to the round of 16, where he will face the winner of today's clash between Germany's Patrick Franziska and CC Xianpeng of China. Aruna's performance is an emphatic return to form after a poor stretch that has seen him win just once in his last 6 matches on the World Table Tennis circuit. The WTT Champions Macau is regarded as one of the most prestigious tournaments in the sport, drawing many of the world's top-ranked players. Defending men's champion Lin Xidong, the current world number 1, began his campaign against Cao Shenjui with Wang Qin, Hugo Calderano, Tomakazu Harimoto, and Li Yong also in the draw. And that ends the sport news. Back to Joy Oche for the rest of the bulletin. I am Henry Usiayu.
Thank you, Henry. And that's our news. But just before we go, here's a thought for the day. Every new day is a fresh page. What you write on it is up to you. Choose gratitude, act with purpose, and leave behind a mark worth remembering. And just before we go, here are the highlights of the news. President Bola Tinubu postpones rollout of new tax law, including a 5% fuel surcharge to January 2026 to ease pressure on Nigerians already battling high living costs. President Bola Tinubu reaffirms his commitment to overhauling the health sector, declaring that no Nigerian should die out of power failures in hospitals. Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers suspends strike after reaching agreement with Dangote Refinery to allow workers unionize. The two-day action disrupted fuel supply nationwide before Tuesday's deal brought relief. And abroad, we did report that Nepal's army patrols the streets of Kathmandu after the country's worst unrest in decades. Protests against corruption and nepotism spiraled into violence, forcing the Prime Minister to resign. That's our news. You can also follow us always on the news online on Facebook at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, and also on YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or you can visit our website. Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the news crew, Joy Uchi is my name. Good night.